1984年スーパークロスシリーズ第1戦はここカリフォルニアのアナハイムスタジアムでキックオフ。これから11月まで続く長いシリーズ戦の開幕だ。予選ヒート1、まず飛び出したのは去年のグランドナショナルチャンピオンホンダのデビッド・ベイリー、ヤマハのリッキー・ジョンソンが2人と後ろについている。3番手にはホンダのボブ・ハリケーン・ハンナ。奇跡の復活と言われ、去年のシリーズでは中盤までぶっちぎりでチャンピオン街道を突っ走ったが、惜しくも怪我で戦線から脱落した。今年はシーズンオフに再び怪我をしてまだ復調していない。 リッキー・ジョンソンがベイリーを抜いた。ジョンソントップ。再びベイリーがジョンソンを抜き返す。予選から激しいデッドヒートが繰り返されている。それは予選といえども結果に対しポイントが与えられ、シリーズチャンピオンの行方に大きく影響してくるからである。再びリッキー・ジョンソンがトップ。ホワイトフラッグが振られた。残るはあと1周。ヒート1はヤマハのリッキー・ジョンソンがトップ。2位はホンダのデビッド・ベイリー。それではこのアナハイムのコースをボブ・ハンナに走ってもらおう。予選ヒート2のスタートが迫っている。ナンバー7は去年若干16歳でルーキー・オブ・ザ・イヤーを獲得したロン・ラシーン。今年はヤマハからホンダに移っての出場だ。好スタートを切ったラシーンがまず飛び出した。先頭はジェフ・ヒックス、2位ラシン、3位マーク・バーネット。 プのヒックスがコントロールミス。その隙をついてラシンがトップを奪う。2位はバーネット。鈴木のエースマーク・バーネットがラシンを抜いた。3位は5番ジョニー・オマラ、4位22番ヒックス。
Now we've got a change. Johnny O on the line is coming to third. Johnny O now. Pretty incredible that Ronnie's doing as well as he did after getting the feeling for touchdown.
ジョニー・オマラがラシンを抜いて2位に上がった。さらにトップのバーネットを追撃する。ついにオマラがバーネットを抜きトップに立った。オマラは1983年度 125cc クラスナショナルチャンピオンである。今一番乗れているライダーだ。 プのオマラが最終ラップに入った。2位以下を大きく引き離し、ヒート2はホンダのジョニー・オマラが制した。2位バーネット、3位ラシーン。続くヒート3。スタートからヤマハのブロックグローバーがリード。2番手には鈴木のバンウォースが続く。結局ヒート3はグローバーの勝利に終わった。第1次予選の最終レースヒート4。グリーンの川崎 KX に乗るジェフ・ワードがダイナミックに飛ばしている。周遅れのライダーの頭上を飛び越して抜き去るシーンはスーパークロスならではのものである。スーパークロスは複雑なトーナメント形式で行われる。ライダーたちはまず4つのヒートレースのいずれかに出場し、それぞれ上位7名がセミファイナルに進出する。しかし7位以内に入れなかったライダーも次に行われるクォーターファイナルで4位以内に入賞すればセミファイナルに出場することができる。セミファイナルは2組行われ、それぞれ9位までのライダーがメインイベントへの出場権を得る。だがここにも敗者のためのラストチャンスが残されている。セミファイナルで10位から16位まで入ったライダーはこのレースに出場し、上位2名の者がメインイベントに進めるのである。メインイベントはこうして激しいクオリファイレースに勝ち残った最強の20人のライダーによって戦われるわけである。ヒート4はジェフ・ワードの独走で終了。ヒート1で激しいバトルを見せたホンダのベイリーとヤマハのジョンソン。このベイリーは83年スーパークロスとナショナル 250cc のダブルチャンピオンに輝き、初のグランドナショナルチャンピオンとなった。こちらは鈴木のマーク・バーネット。83年のスーパークロスシリーズランキング第2位。その隣にヒート2でデッドヒートをかわした相手、ホンダのジョニー・オマラがいる。大ベテランホンダのボブ・ハンナ。かつてのスーパーチャンピオンであり、負けることを知らなかった。このハリケーン84年も台風の目となるか。以上がセミファイナル1の主な出場ライダーである。 セミファイナル1。スタートからオマラがリード、その後をベイリーが追う。ホンダワークス同士のトップ争いだ。セミファイナル1はスタート2フィニッシュでジョニー・オマラのぶっちぎりの勝利。続くセミファイナル2。スタートから飛び出したのはヤマハのブロックグローバー。2番手に鈴木のバンオースが続く。結局セミファイナル2はブロックグローバーがスタート2フィニッシュで制した。アナハイムのスタンドを埋め尽くした7万人を超す観衆。これはこのスタジアム始まって以来最高の数字である。ここがスーパークロスのスタート地点です。ここではみんなとってもエキサイティングになります。ナンバーワンのゼッケンをつけたベイリーもいます。一体みんな何を考えているんでしょうか。今年のニューマシンの調子はどうか気になっているのかもしれません。スタートまであと10秒。最高。
That is good thinking, Bruce. You had better get out of the way, as plenty of America's top motocross stars are ready for the final event here, the opening Stadium Motocross of the year. $25,000 awaits the winner in 20 short laps of racing. It's very difficult to anticipate this kind of a starting gate as it falls towards the motorcycle. You've just got to time it perfectly, and they do. It is Goat Brecker.
第1コーナーは川崎のゴートブレーカーがリード。続いて鈴木のバンウォース。バンウォースとオマラが並んで飛び出した。
Defending series champion David Bailey has moved up to the 6th spot. And at the back of the pack that's moving his way up slowly but surely is Bob Hanna, coming off a fractured pelvis. This is Hanna's first major competition after a long layoff. So Hanna, the crowd definitely riding with him. One of the toughest parts of this course they're into right now, called the Rockers. Motorcycle racers call them hoop-de-doos. Very, very tough. Some of the faster riders will try to take them 2 and 3 at a time, but it's a calculated risk. If you time it wrong, you land front wheel first and you go over the handlebars. Brock Glover has now moved up on his Yamaha to the number 4 position. The Golden Boy, they call it, moving up very quickly. Brock Glover. All of these motorcycles, 250 cc's. They must weigh 208 pounds minimum. An awful lot of factory motorcycles, but the entire Yamaha team is mounted on production bikes, a statement they want to make, that their everyman bike can be competitive. Still leading it, Scott Burnworth, riding number 8. Very, very smooth through every section of the course. In the earlier qualifying races, Johnny O'Mara, number 5, who is running second right now, had much quicker lap times than did Scott Burnworth, and that is starting to show right now as Johnny O'Mara is closing it up, doing it cautiously, very carefully, wanting to stay on top of the motorcycle. But Burnworth is going to start getting some pressure. Back of the pack, David Bailey, number 1, the series champion, starting to make his move. It is David Bailey. He is by Glover. He is by Brecker.
Baileyが3位に進出。すぐ後をワードが追う。
It appeared as if Jeff Ward got around Goat Brecker, but he did not as they come over the jump. It is Goat Brecker still running number 4, but look at O'Mara. O'Mara going wide, trying to take advantage of the berm to get around Scott Burnworth. O'Mara is flying.
スタートで遅れたボブ・ハンナが猛烈な勢いで追い上げている。
Bob Hanna did not have a good start, but he's slowly moving up in the pack right now. And you mentioned earlier, Steve, that he is coming off an injury. This is his first race back, but what a great champion he is. He's won more races than anybody else in this sport. He doesn't like being in the back of the pack. He's got a lot of pride. He'll move up.
And, Bruce, it's interesting to note how the crowd responds every time Hanna passes another rider. But he's got a lot of catching up to do if he's to catch this young man, Scott Burnworth. But look at Johnny O'Mara. O'Mara now within a couple of bike lengths of Scott Burnworth. O'Mara is pouring it on through the Rockers. It is O'Mara alongside Burnworth. Johnny O'Mara has the lead. Kicks his boot out to Burnworth. Bruce?
Johnny O'Mara takes the lead. Burnworth right behind him. But don't count out Dave Bailey right now, who has come from way back on the pack, moved up very quickly. It's Bailey charging, but right now Johnny O'Mara has the lead.
Well, you called it correctly, Bruce. No one on this racetrack is quicker right now than David Bailey, currently in the number 3 spot. Rider number 1, the defending champion from a year ago, has Scott Burnworth at his sights and then hopes to get Johnny O'Mara. O'Mara, so smooth, so stylish, the Johnny O Show. A rare performance here at Anaheim. But look at Bailey now. Bailey is pulling up on Burnworth. Bailey gets tangled up in the hay bales and misses an opportunity to take second spot. Burnworth again pulls it out by 3 bike lengths. Johnny O'Mara riding confidently in the lead, followed by Scott Burnworth, then David Bailey. And up into the 4th position is number 4, Jeff Ward.
Bailey も番号を捉えた。ベイリー2位に上昇。
O'Mara took the lead. David Bailey, number 1, now sets his sights on fellow Honda teammate Johnny O'Mara. And for Scott Burnworth, the job now will be to try to hold off Jeff Ward, who, as we said, has moved into 4th position. Bob Hanna has moved up to the 10th spot and is just completing the Rockers, but there's a bike down in front of him. Jeff Hicks' bike is down. He's uninjured. Hanna around it. So is number 7, Ron Lachine, the Rookie of the Year. So Hanna would still like to go after Johnny O'Mara.
ジャニー・オマラが見事なジャンプで通過しました。オマラは断然リードしています。その後にベイリーが続き、すぐ後ろはバンゴースが追っています。ジェフ・ワードです。予選で見事な走りを見せました。そして忘れてならないのはブロック・グローバー、1000リハイナル2の優勝者。
As Johnny O'Mara, the leader, number 5, makes his way towards the Rockers, you can see how the suspension on these motorcycles really works. Back in 1972, at the first ever Supercross, they had maybe 6 inches of travel front and rear. Now they're up to 14 and 15 inches, so that the punishment is absorbed by the motorcycle and hopefully not the rider. But Johnny O'Mara, as far as I'm concerned right now, has got to be number 1, David Bailey, just a few bike lengths behind. Bailey from Axton, Virginia. His father, Gary, had a lot to do with the design of this course. He should know it better than just about anybody else. O'Mara and Bailey. This is really a dream matchup for the fans in the stands. These two battled it out last year, hammer and tong, with David Bailey taking the crown. Look at O'Mara, a little over center there. The front wheel coming down first. You want them to land together, or the back wheel just ahead of the front. Johnny O'Mara just pouring it on as hard as he can because knows Bailey is doing the same thing. And the battle here is between these two athletes. The motorcycles are both work spikes. They should be identical technically. Down in the infield again is Bruce Jenner.
オマラがベイリーに脅かされています。ウォッシュボードに突入しました。ここはコースの中でも最もスローダウンを要求されるところですが、ダブルジャンプで通過します。ベイリーがオマラのすぐ後に迫っています。ここではスピードはあまり出てませんが、見せないように神経を使うしんどい場所でもあるのです。
Johnny O'Mara, the leader, 5'9", 140 pounds. David Bailey in second spot, 6'2", 170 pounds. O'Mara appears to be quicker through the tighter part of the course, and David Bailey makes up some ground in the straightaways and over the tall jumps. And as you watch Johnny O'Mara over these jumps, you can see the tremendous power of the motorcycle. It accelerates off that ramp, and then he does everything he can to get it down on the ground, wheel driving once again. Now, David Bailey is used to the 250 motorcycle. He won the national championship on it last year and the stadium title. Johnny O'Mara is one of the few riders in the world that can week in, week out just go back and forth from a 125 to a 250. The 125 much lighter, easier to ride in a lot of... Oh, and down is David Bailey.
その隙にバンウォースとワードに抜かれるが、すぐに立ち直り4位をキープ。
Too much before that jump. The back end came around. It looks like his bike is tweaked a little bit. The handlebars look like they're bent.
Well, Bruce Scott Burnworth and Jeff Ward got around while David Bailey was on the ground. Bailey is up and trying to again go after this man who takes a tearaway for some clear vision. I don't know where he's getting any dirt. There's nobody in front of him. Johnny O'Mara has clear sailing here. Number 5, and right behind him comes the second place rider, number 8 on the Suzuki. That's Scott Burnworth. But Jeff Ward on the green Kawasaki, and he gets him on the inside.
Jeff Ward, now running in the number 2 spot.
But Johnny O'Mara continues to command this race.
今やオマラは完全に独走態勢です。彼は今大きな右回りのヘアピンを通過し、大きくジャンプして走り去りました。しかし2位を走る好調のジェフ・ワードとの差はそれほど開いていません。ホンダのベイリーと川崎のブレーカーが4位争いを展開している。
So does Johnson now moving into 5th position, battling for 6th is Bailey number 1 and Brecker number 19. Bailey with the bent set of handlebars. At the top of the straight, Scott Burnworth had some problems, and that was Brock Glover and Rick Johnson moving by him as Bailey continues to try to hold off Goat Brecker as they loft them over the finish line jump into the tight right-hander. David Bailey, who may not have any chance of winning this now, just trying to finish, get some points, win some prize money on a bent-up motorcycle. Goat Brecker's specialty is really the 500cc, the big machines on the outdoor courses, 40-minute motos. He has a... Oh, wait a minute. David Bailey. Brecker with both feet off of the pegs, and Brecker is down. David Bailey goes right on by, as does Mark Barnett. Johnny O'Mara may still be leading this race, but he is far from having it wrapped up. And we'll be back with the closing laps right after this.
このコースは完全に人工的なものですが、わざと楽に走らないようにしてあります。ここを見てください。バイクが通過していきますが、2つ目のコブを越えるのが難しい。まず手前でスローダウンして最初のコブにバイクを乗せ前輪を上げて頂点を越えなければならないんです。トラックのコンディションはとてもよくできています。崩れてしまわないよう粘りがあり、適当に湿っている土がうまく調合されているんです。ライダーたちはこのトラックのどんな場所でも走行可能だと言っています。
Well, Johnny O'Mara, until this point, Bruce, hasn't had to worry much about passing. He took the lead on lap number 5, but these are slower motorcycles that he is indeed putting a lap on. O'Mara goes by. Now we see second place Jeff Ward coming. Number 4, quite a distance between the two of them. Here is Ward on the Kawasaki, still going after O'Mara, but not narrowing up that gap a bit. Johnny O'Mara has been racing motorcycles for 14 of his 23 years, starting out in the mini bike wars in the San Fernando Valley. Have so many well-known professional riders. O'Mara so smooth, doing oh, look at him lost it over the finish line jump, a perfect textbook kind of a landing. So O'Mara now in 4th gear as he hits one of the high-speed areas on the course going towards the super berm, which is a 6-foot wall of dirt surrounding that first turn. Then they go into an area of the course called the Himalayas, and you can see why. As they're quite high, they'll get a good 10, 12 feet in the air over the Himalayas. There's some tough double jumps, but O'Mara doubles them, doesn't take them independently, gets 2 at a time, and that has been his secret, and also Jeff Ward, who was running second. They put a lot of distance on the field because of that double jump technique.
Steve, here's the distance between first and second place. O'Mara just went by. Here comes Jeff Ward, maybe 4 or 5 seconds difference. Jeff Ward's got his work cut out for him.
And Ward would like to catch O'Mara for some personal reasons as well. It was this man, Johnny O'Mara, who beat Jeff Ward for the National 125cc Championship last year by a mere 9 points. So Ward and O'Mara are no strangers at attacking each other. And neither of them has ever won a Stadium Supercross race. We're not talking about an overall title. We're talking about just in the winner's circle. Neither has ever achieved that in a stadium environment. Certainly they've done it outdoors. We see again O'Mara going for some clear vision, getting a tear off. And here we can demonstrate the lead that Johnny O'Mara has. As O'Mara leaves the picture, here comes Jeff Ward, number 4 on the Kawasaki. Right behind Ward in the 3rd spot is 17 Rick Johnson. And traveling in 4th, having a tough time of it, is Brock Glover, number 3. A lot of heads were shaking when Yamaha announced that they would compete the series on production motorcycles. But Glover has made a fine showing, and just behind Glover comes number 8 Scott Burnworth in the 5th spot.
6位、ホンダのデビッド・ベイリー。
have a nice, comfortable lead, but this man, number 1 David Bailey, proved earlier that anything can happen in motocross. He was running a strong second, challenging O'Mara, went a little too much speed, set the bike up for a turn a bit too early, and down he went. And when it's all said and done, David Bailey is going to look back at that fall knowing that it may well have given the title here to Johnny O'Mara, who is headed for the high point on this motocross course, the finish line jump.
僕の後ろにあるのがこのアナハイムスタジアムで一番高いジャンプ台です。ここでは20から25フィートも飛ばされます。こういうところではあまり高く飛んではいけません。空中ではバイクは地上のように操作することができないからです。もちろん加速することもできません。できるだけ早く着地してスピードを上げるのがいいんです。
And what tremendous images our Speed World cameramen are showing us here, Bruce, as America's greatest motocross stars continue to try to disprove Newton's theories of gravity. Johnny O'Mara is showing what an athlete can take to straddle one of these 200-pound machines. A lot of people have paralleled motocross to downhill skiing, and I think that's very accurate. You use every muscle in your body, upper body strength and tremendous leg endurance and strength required as well. And few have ever ridden a motocross machine with more style than Johnny O'Mara does. He's a still cameraman's delight, as over the tall jumps he's famous for, one-handers, putting the bike vertically and suddenly get it back down on the dirt just in time. And back down in the infield is Bruce.
今、ジョニー・オマラが快調に通過していきました。ピット前でメカニックから全て順調のサインが出されました。ライダーもマシンも完璧な状態です。
Well, there's a rider out here, Bruce, that couldn't give you a thumbs up, and that is Brock Glover on number 3 because he has a broken right thumb. And how painful that must be on this rough, tough, man-made course here at Anaheim Stadium. But the motorcycle running very, very well. Just behind Brock Glover in the 5th spot is Scott Burnworth, but Burnworth is going to lose the 5th spot to David Bailey. The amazing defending series champion rides the rockers so well, even with a bent fork and handlebars. David Bailey now moves into the 5th spot for more points and a little more prize money. Bailey just never gives up. All of these riders, including Johnny O'Mara, are in tremendous physical condition or they wouldn't be out here. Many of them now have been working on mental conditioning, motivational tapes, especially prepared for motocross riders. And right now, I think he's banking on that to pull him through, to carry his concentration where he doesn't get cute on the motorcycle. Start to maybe show off a little bit for the 70,000 fans, many of them from his home San Fernando Valley area. Johnny O'Mara right now riding better than he ever has in a stadium environment. What a beautiful lift. And look at this. All of a sudden, David Bailey is getting around Brock Glover. デビッド・ベイリーがブロックグローバーを抜いた。これでベイリーは4位に浮上。 Getting closer still to O'Mara, Ward, and Johnson. Anything is still possible here. And Bruce Jenner, the rockers especially show us how well-conditioned these athletes really are.
Oh, they certainly are in good shape. You know, the mechanics spend hours and hours working on those bikes, getting them ready, and the rider has to spend hours and hours working on themselves, getting themselves good enough shape so they are just as finely tuned as these machines are. You can see how they have to work all the time, up on top of the bike, using their legs, their arms, putting their leg out, trying to hold that bike, keep it under control. Also, that fatigue factor. If they do get tired, they cannot perform as well.
Well, Jeff Ward is a good example. He runs up to 10 miles every morning. He works out in a very elaborate gym in his home. and does 3 hours, 3 times a week of hard
3 位
motorcycle
は
riding.
ジョンソン。
Rick Johnson, whoa, Rick Johnson just about loses it as he is running in 3rd spot right now. It's a little mistake like that that could cost you this race. And that's going through the mind right now of Johnny O'Mara. Also hoping that that machine continues to run as flawlessly as it has so far. Well, O'Mara has just made no visible mistakes whatsoever. Took the lead on the 5th lap and has never looked back. Jeff Ward is about 3.5 seconds behind O'Mara right now on his Kawasaki. O'Mara around some lap motorcycles. Back in '81, Johnny O was voted the Pro Athlete of the Year in motorcycle racing. In '82, he took a quick trip to Switzerland where he won both times he was on the course. And here in the United States, there really are only 2 125 Grand Prix championships each year, and he has won both of those the past 2 seasons. So Johnny O'Mara has definitely proven himself in 125 racing, and tonight could finally score in Supercross. And that really is where the big money is right now as far as factory riders are concerned. Getting by Goat Brecker, he is lapping Goat Brecker, who's a fine professional rider but went down earlier in this race. And Johnny O'Mara has now put a full lap on him. That's an embarrassing happening for a guy like Goat Brecker. So O'Mara continues to lead, and we are in the final few laps of the Stadium Motocross, and no one has left. A record crowd for Anaheim Stadium, over 70,000 people, and all eyes right now have got to be on O'Mara, watching his style and seeing if there's the potential at all for any kind of a slip-up. And Jeff Ward currently second with a couple of lap riders between himself and Johnny O'Mara. Goat Brecker, one of those riders, right behind O'Mara, but he, remember, is a lap down. So Johnny O'Mara is so tempted, I'm sure, to look back and see where Ward is, but doesn't dare do that. He'll rely on his pit crew with the chalkboards to tell him his location and what kind of a safety factor he's got there. 20 laps of racing just about completed. And Johnny O'Mara has an opportunity here to become $25,000 richer.
いよいよアナハイムスーパークロスメインイベントはファイナルラップに突入した。
I have been so impressed with him. He's doing so well. He's out in the lead. He's got a comfortable lead. He's going to take it easy this last lap, not make any mistakes, not put the bike down, and pick up $25,000. A nice ride by Johnny O'Mara.
Well, the way O'Mara has been riding double jumping and even triple jumping, it would be hard to change that style completely, Bruce. That could get him in trouble. He might go front wheel first into one of those jumps. So he's backed off a little bit to save the motorcycle and himself, but still maintaining an aggressive style where he has to, rather than change anything whatsoever. And here is number 17, Rick Johnson, who's in the 3rd spot. Between the two of them, somewhere, is young Jeff Ward. But here is Johnny O'Mara. He knows right now that he's got it won. He can hear the crowd up on the pegs, letting the motorcycle do the work, is Johnny O'Mara. So O'Mara again has made that transition from the 125 to the 250, has done it beautifully. And he is over the last
Johnny O'Mara 優勝。
The checkered flag for Johnny O'Mara. He has won the
ヒートレー
Anaheim
ス、
Stadium
セミ
Supercross
ファイナル、
opening race
メインイベントと全てのレースをぶっちぎりで勝ち取ったオモラは一挙に48ポイントを獲得。シリーズチャンピオンに向かって幸先の良いスタートを切った。
Johnny, let me be the first guy to congratulate you. Just finally got your helmet off. It's got to be a good feeling.
I'll tell you, Bruce, it's the best feeling I've had in my life so far.
First win?
First stadium, and hopefully there'll be more after this one.
Did you think it was going to be that easy? You got that lead that last lap. You seemed to take it awfully easy because you know all you had to do was get to the finish line.
I'll tell you, I had a really bad stomach cramp about 4 laps ago, man. I didn't even know if I was going to make it. I feel like throwing up.
Well, you certainly look beautiful on that bike. Didn't show any signs of that. Congratulations.
Oh, thanks a lot, Bruce.
世界のモトクロスシーンに衝撃を与え続けるアメリカンライダー、そして今や世界を制した日本の4メーカーのスーパーマシンがまさに激突したキックオフであった。